After a 2-week hiatus,
We
we're
back.
back.
Back, baby.
Kristen, would you like to start us off with a toast?
Yes, this one I'm quite excited to give. Let's all raise a glass to getting the fuck out of Austin, Texas, finally, and for all. I'm so tired of this whack-ass trip that whack-ass, dusty-ass Ashley has planned. Cheers.
Oh, I already started drinking, sorry. Couldn't wait to get out.
Couldn't wait. I'll allow it. You are now watching Mind You Media.
Mind You!
We can't use that. We don't have the rights. You are now streaming Mind You Media. Okay. Well, with that, my favorite part of the show is upon us. The 1-minute recap. Oh, I'm not ready. I gotta get my timer out. Ellen will be gracing us with her recap. Her attempt. And it'll start. This is let's say the episode 8.
Season 8
right.
on January 8th.
There we go. 888.
Paint Austin Red, I believe it's called.
Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, the episode opens with Ashley and Giselle gathered in the suite they've been using for all their collective gatherings with some last-ditch ass effort to reappropriate that little painting exercise Ashley never got off the ground under the pretense of celebrating Karen's birthday. We simultaneously find the women separated in little clumps of 3 around that nasty-ass pool. So we have Karen, Wendy, Candace talking at the bar about facial hair, and actually Wendy's mom's recent health issues. She's in the emergency room, apparently, about to get surgery. Then we have Nneka, the other girls over there pretending to swim, not talking about shit. Later, we find the women painting portraits of Karen, which are kind of funny. Then we find them at dinner, preparing to go to the drag show. The drag show ends up being... Oh, dang.
That was close. That was real close.
You got to
the last theme.
Okay.
It's because I forgot their names. That's really...
Yeah.
I know. You were taking a long time with that. I was like, this is not the best use of her minute.
It wasn't. Okay, but just to finish, the painting of the portraits of Karen is a kind of lighthearted fun. Then they, I think, pivot right shortly after that to dinner, which is a kind of pregame for the main event, which is the drag show, which takes up the majority of the episode. And dinner is really where it all goes down. Like we have Candace Ashley face off. There's an attempt, but it misfires. Like Candace Robin face off. Robin, of course, leaves the table. And for some reason, because she's apparently a glutton for humiliation, calls Juan. And Juan is like, don't suck too hard. Oh, I mean, I'm doing my laundry. I think. What do you do when there's laundry? There's clothes. There's like clothes involved.
It's when the clothes get to the and it's in that style. Is it origami? No, I'm sorry.
I'm doing origami, I believe. Like his FaceTime will not connect. So Robin is clearly suspicious and then pretends to quiet the. Okay, well, yeah, I'm just mad at these girls again. And Juan's like, oh.
Also, when she asks why is your FaceTime, like what's going on, he first says, I don't know.
No, he says no. He famously says, it's like UHHHHHHH. Oh no.
Okay, so then Robin pretends like she's not alarmed by her inability to see her husband. He tells her, as usual, he's not on her side, but he is bringing some wisdom, I would agree, which is like, why don't you have the actual conversation Surprisingly, but not surprisingly, if we know what happens behind closed doors in the Dixon household, Robin goes, "Enough is enough. I will not abide this," and hangs up on him. That
Mm.
part is novel.
Mm-hmm.
But like taking Juan's concerns that might be related to their marriage seriously, that part's not. So then eventually Robin's so-called friends belatedly come to join her, and you can tell at that point Giselle's just like, "Girl, are you gonna keep doing this? Are you gonna keep walking off and making me clomp over to you? I was waiting for you to be cooled down. Hey, what's up?" Mia runs along like Floppiana. Ashley's tragic ass and her forehead joins. They kiki, nothing productive is said, and then the women more or less move on to the drag show. At the drag show, we find somebody who may be closely related to NECA, look with NECA's face, but an upgrade, named Ritzy Bits, hosting the drag show. Did y'all notice the resemblance? Okay, smack like each other.
An upgrade on
They
NECA, truly.
an upgrade. They host a model walk. The finalists are Karen, Ashley, and Wendy. Of course, the Grand Dame on her triple 20 wins.
Mm.
And the episode closes like that, right? Nothing else happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Basically.
That's it.
Thank you for that robust retelling.
My
And
pleasure.
Okay, let's start at that little pool as you described all of the women in threes along with Ashley and Giselle getting ready for the let me just say, okay, they were getting ready for the painting party part 2. Karen, paint Karen. Do not, and I'm speaking to you two specifically, but anyone watching this, paint me on my birthday. I do not want that. Like, why insist on torturing Karen? And why does Karen always throw her birthday away? This is the second birthday we've seen of
What was
hers
the first
ruined
one?
by this show. The first
Last
one was
one.
Miami.
Wait,
2
that was
years
her
in a
birthday?
row.
Oh,
Yes.
that was 2 seasons ago. You're right. That was
Oh, okay.
no, that was
I
no,
thought
that
that
was
was
last.
last season. Yes.
You're right.
Wait, Miami with the drink toss from Mia? That was Karen's birthday
Yes.
too?
While
Karen's
Robin is
birthday.
recording and everyone's like, ha ha ha, Karen is sitting there like, it's my birthday.
Aww.
They
Yes.
gotta stop this. That's not
I
right.
know.
Yes, that's the point. Ashley had every opportunity to do this trip in an improved way. Like it was Mia last time who hosted Miami, and at least she pretended to have 1 or 2 decent things in mind for Karen. Ashley literally doesn't even put Karen's birthday in her fucking Google Calendar, and she's known her for at least 8 years now.
Mm.
It's not right. So Giselle is like, let me try and salvage something because we don't know if this is before. It's clearly after the kayaking. Is it the same minute? Like, who knows? I think Giselle maybe was like, Karen was on the dock at kayaking. Looked like she was very much not included. Like she was very much an afterthought. Let's do something. And then you can
It's her
see Giselle get
60th
birthday.
birthday.
Her
like,
triple fucking 20.
Her 60th birthday. That is the milestone of a life, okay? Then Ashley's like, I figure like they'll just either paint Karen or something that reminds them of Karen. And Giselle's like, no, you fucking idiot. They're gonna paint Karen. Like you can see Giselle get pissed. Like, can you stop with your stupid ass ideas? Like
Yes.
she gets mad. And like she's like, they're gonna paint Karen. Okay, a portrait of her. And how does Ashley respond? Okay, yeah, whatever. And then they have a very rich convo about Ashley's mom.
Ah, yes.
I would put rich in asterisks because it felt like Giselle. To me, it's just like it shows you how fake funny Giselle is and how interested she is in just consolidating her ranks. Because she's like, why I have to be in here with your dumbass who don't know how to plan shit? How's your family again? Oh, you're at your mom's house. Oh,
Literally.
okay. And then Ashley gives her like some surprising takes. Oh, I haven't been to my mom's house in 2 years. Oh, she's still with that man who I regard who ain't shit. And then Giselle's like, ain't that a trip? Family's so crazy.
Literally, because it starts with Ashley, with Giselle trying to roast what's her name? Mama
Sheila.
Mama
Sheila.
Sheila. She tries to roast her because Ashley's like, she taught me the quarter. She said, your mama taught you? It's like, why are you being so judgy? Like that her mother, it was nothing really to judge heavily. It's just Giselle's messy and doesn't give a fuck about Ashley, and probably is just pissed at her for a shitty trip. And so is just lashing out wherever she can find an opportunity. And then she goes, and how is your mama and that man? I know that's a troubled spot in your life. Let's talk about that. And of course, Ashley, with all the nonsense entailed in a forehead that big, is like, my mother is living a life I could not abide. A man who cheats on her?
She said that me and my mom, we are different because she is just too forgiving. I'm sorry, you mean the man who grabs butts on cameras, who sleeps with men and
On
women alike,
camera.
who embarrass you, who don't give you no money after divorcing you and having 2 kids with you. Oh, I'm sorry. She about what? She does more. She's more forgiving than you are. I'm sorry, girl. What?
Well, that's what was crazy is that she was like, I learned from my mother's relationships. I thought she was saying, like, I was like, I accept certain things because I saw them being accepted. But she was saying the opposite. Like, oh no,
Yes,
I do
because they
better.
tried to give her a chance to turn it around. Like, she did not realize how hypocritical she sounded talking to Giselle in that room. So later, when they filmed the confessional, they go, girl, by the way, we're going to play that convo with you and Giselle. Do you want to say a bit about your mom's relationship so you don't look as stupid? And she's like, yes, I will say that I've made different choices than my mother on the basis of her mistakes. By my account, you're doing worse than Sheila, baby girl.
Way
you are
worse.
doing worse because Sheila was counting on Michael's checks, okay? But you right now cannot. And Sheila knows how to make a long-term commitment, and you don't.
So, oh my God, Ashley, you don't know how, like, do you know how to, and you know what, to me, I don't know, have we revisited this boyfriend? My sense is he's Black because she's pathologizing him so much.
Of
My
course.
sense is that it's like, oh, I can't go to that home where that grifter, this cancerous person, she calls him. I said, you nasty bitch, shut the fuck
AKA
up.
you. Like, so y'all have a lot in common. Like, if he's a grifter, that's right up your fucking alley. No,
Yep.
exactly. The man is Black. That's why when back a few seasons ago, when Michael feels as if we are financially, like, we know exactly what that was about. It's a Black man. Michael was lit to pathologize Sheila. He's lit to, remember he said, I don't want you to be the kind of mother you are, your mother has been to our children. Remember that? He's lit to pathologize Sheila. And we know because the man is Black. That's fucking first of all. And then when Ashley finally, it's like, so her mom has been dating that man since high school. You mean to tell me you haven't grown the fuck up and realized your mom is a grown ass woman who's going to make her own mistakes and you are still trying to punish her for that shit?
20 years late. That's at least 20
Yeah.
years, Ashley. Shut the fuck up.
At least.
Literally. And she's like, because in high school, we didn't like that he didn't contribute to the household. Well, now you're a grown up, okay? And you're still on that same shit. And we didn't like that he cheated. But you didn't mind that Michael cheated and did it to you on international television.
And what household are you contributing to, Ashley?
Like, not even your own.
You don't even contribute to your
like,
house,
preach.
girl. You don't got a house.
She's an idiot. And like just the way she is lit to throw her mother under the bus. Like, I don't know. Like, I wonder if Sheila is just
for
gonna
me.
yeah, they're watching it like, wow, my daughter has no respect for me and she must actually hate me. Like, she doesn't talk about me with any level of empathy, compassion, like,
understanding, identification.
It was reminiscent of
imitation
Mia.
of life.
Yes, and Mia talking about her mom. Like, oh, poor. It was reminiscent of Mia talking about her mom. I felt like just like, oh. And now people will like me more because they'll see how far I've come.
Exactly. 2 sevens disavowing their roots, which are inevitably connected to their Black mothers.
Yes.
Classic. Fucking classic.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it's like Ashley
Mia
looks
does this
even worse
in
than Mia because what's that?
I was just gonna say Mia does this later in the episode. You know, we'll get there. When she's painting Karen, she's just like shitting on Surrey, and I think that's part of this. Like, she's from country people.
Yes. I was gonna say Ashley to me worse than Mia because it's like Ashley, you're trying to identify with a whiteness that's never accepted you. It's like,
Yep.
oh,
Yep.
you want to pathologize Sheila from the standpoint of a white world or a white parent or white identification that's never been available to you, girl. Your father kept shutting the fucking door in your face.
Yep.
When's it gonna land?
Yep. Michael's now shutting the door in your face. Looks like history's repeating itself, Ashley.
Yep.
Tragic asshole.
That's the way to call her.
While Ashley is being tragic in the hotel room, what is happening outside? Okay, I felt like there were a lot of revealing things being said in the way that this whole chunk of the episode was just doing snippet of like the hotel room, snippet of the pool, snippet of the bar. I can't even think of one that's popping out at me now.
Did Robin, NECA, and who's the other one? Mia. Did they even talk about anything? No, right?
Mia came and ran back to Robin and NECA, the conversation that they had at the distillery. So, Mia was like, basically, Wendy was just saying that she didn't appreciate that the connotation that you were bringing to the idea of her mother's engagement with the shrine was so negative. And then dumbass NECA is like, I can't even believe that. How crazy. Like, she's trying to make the shrine sound positive. Girl, she's just scared that I'm gonna bring out more that I know. And then she's like fidgeting, trying to seem compelling with her earring.
And she said it was the craziest thing she has ever heard. And it was just like, what? This is not the crazy. It was not relayed to you like it was crazy. The content,
it wasn't.
was not crazy either.
No, it wasn't.
And
that's why when you called it crazy.
I was surprised at Mia's relative fidelity to capturing the thing that was said in that conversation, given we know Mia has a history of embellishment and additions and recasting the bones that she tries to collect and bring to people. So I was like, that's pretty well a pretty well representation of what Wendy was saying.
Well, I thought otherwise. No, but I can appreciate that your expectations for Mia are in the basement, and mine should certainly be. But I was like, you missed the whole part where she said Catholicism uses shrines, because that is a clear piece of information that NECA is missing, so that she thinks she can continue to weaponize this shrines discourse. Like, she's just like, I found the anti-Black chit that's gonna win it all, like voodoo, right? Like, it's like, Catholics use shrines. You might not be Catholic. Just because you both are Nigerian doesn't mean you're the same denomination of Christianity. / you barely seem religious to me at all. That's first of all, right? Like, you she literally doesn't seem religious at all. But I think Mia needed to forward that aspect of what Wendy was saying in order to effectively shut NECA down. Of course, that was not her ambition. But I really would like NECA to shut the fuck up already about it. Like, it's getting old. Move on.
I would also like her to shut the fuck up about it and close the book on that as her little angle in this season, because it's like, you keep equivocating about, like, I don't even know. I mean, I don't want a problem. I don't understand why there's a problem. I don't even have a problem with her. But then it's like, you keep finding ways to stoke the flame and look for approval from those who sent you, the little cabal that has sent you to go make this storyline pop. So it's like, NECA, stop saying that. Stop saying that you don't know what's happening. You know what's happening. Stop saying that you don't have a problem with her. You continue to carry it out. Stop.
Even Robin no longer will abide this story, because peep how she pivoted quickly to her own issues. She was like, and then Wendy, and she's like, on the subject of Wendy, Wendy was saying her family's being talked about. No, my family's being talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, but Wendy's mom, you idiot, is being talked shit about by this woman. Like, Robin just wanted to pivot to her own shit. She's like, my family. Yeah, but rule number one of people who you don't come for in a family is their motherfucking mom, okay? It's Wendy's mom who's being dragged by NECA. And y'all made your little comments about Eddie last time. And y'all made your little comments about Eddie potentially cheating the season before. So yeah, actually, Wendy's family is being maligned quite consistently. Shut the fuck up, Robin. Juana's doing that for you.
Yes. No, that's what I was going to say, actually, is just how absurd it is that she had Robin had that moment of like, Wendy? No, me. I am the victim here. It was just like, what? And that you're sitting around people that are so unhinged themselves that they'll let you say that. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
but this is where, again, as you know, multiple tweeters have said, the producers are not beating the colorism charges because it's precisely because Robin. Okay, fast forward to later, real quick. Fast forward to later in the night when the minute Candace goes, "Oh, you're a victim," Robin's triggered as fuck. She's triggered as I'm not going for victim. Yeah, but maybe because you live in that white-skinned body, you have learned that when you are in distress, people should honor that more than other people, which would explain why she turned at the pool, A, pivot past NECA's beef, not beef, and then B, insists, like, no, I'm actually the one whose family is being dragged. No, Juan is dragging your family for you. You and the others are involved in trying to bring down everybody's entire livelihoods.
Yes.
Okay. And you want everybody's full attention when you feel duly persecuted, right?
No, but can we say that part again? Because I feel like that part has been emphasized this whole trip. And I mean, I know we'll get to it more, but it's like you see Robin turn up at dinner when Candace calls out her inconsistencies. It's like, don't make me accountable to things that I did. That's when she gets angriest. It's like, I shouldn't have to suffer accountability. I should just be able to take up being aggrieved. And it's like, Robin, okay, what? Like, that makes no sense. You and then you don't have anything to say, which is why you have to get up. But we'll get there.
And I do believe Robin, least of all the light skins, like by which I mean not compared with Ashley and Giselle. I do believe Robin is actually least of all like engaged in a kind of colorist, dynamic.
Willfully.
Right, exactly. Consciously, and just like I think she has the least potential out of those three to actually be up to it. But I do believe that, and in her mind, it's not like I'm light skinned, so I should get special attention. But I do think Giselle thinks that. I do think Ashley thinks that. I don't think Robin thinks that. I think that Robin's experience of getting like attention when she requires it is a byproduct. She hasn't consciously recognized, oh, people will honor my claims because I'm light skinned, right? Like, I don't think she's consciously realized. I think she thinks, babe, most of the time, baby, I'm not bringing any feelings forward. So the one time I do, it better get everybody's attention. I think that's what the sense is to her. And it's like, you know that it's also because you're light skinned, right? Like, so the minute you get pitted against Candace, now nothing Candace has to say is legitimate. And it's all about, as Karen thankfully pointed out, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Shout out to Wendy praying at dinner.
The rosary.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, sorry. The producers are on some shit though. Anyway, but like I think only as a byproduct has Robin been able to count on that. But this is the like trouble I'm seeing with the discourse of colorism in the context of this show online. It's like people don't have to be consciously engage in colorism to count on the benefits of, right, like light skin privilege. Okay, like that doesn't mean Robin has to be maliciously but if everyone will flock when the light skinned girl starts crying.
Yes, because she also thinks of herself as the reasonable one, so her claims are reasonable, like logical, and it's like, why do you think people think that, Robin?
You're not especially smart, but
no, she is not. Why is your camera off?
Why is your camera off? Why is your FaceTime not working?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Okay.
Well, whatever. Oh, you're doing laundry. Oh my gosh, she's helping out.
Okay, the last part of this opening moment with this three-way dynamic happening simultaneously is Karen, Wendy, and Candace at the bar. And among other things, they're idling and chit-chatting. But the part that was most curious to me that I want to know what y'all's thoughts are, Wendy discloses that her mom has been in the hospital since they landed. She was taken in an ambulance. Her brother told her whatever. It's a small procedure that's laparoscopic, and they're trying to see what's going on, investigating pain. And in the confessional, so basically Wendy says, when she says that, so there was an additional charge, an additional feeling of being like, an additional feeling I was carrying with like the charges that my mom was doing shrine shit because she's not well. And then in the confessions, Candace is like, okay, I get it. Like, I understand that Wendy is feeling triggered by the fact that her mom is not well right now, but I think it's important to separate the issue that's being discussed with Wendy's mom and shrines from the fact of Wendy's mom being not well. And so my question is just like, to what end is that statement for? Is Candace suspicious that like Wendy is trying to like consolidate people against like NECA and them? Is she like, does she not believe that Wendy is triggered? Like, I don't know, like why did she do that? Why did she make that statement to y'all?
Okay, I think two things. One, in general, Candace has given too much credence to the whole shrine argument. Like it actually is potentially a real thing that's happening. She's been, and I think she thinks she's being fair and balanced, but it's like, no, you're taking it way too seriously. That's the first thing. And I think with that in mind, actually, the second thing is that on this show, it is a common complaint of mine that anytime someone gets in a corner, they invoke something sad that is tangentially related. Think back to the beginning of the season, Mia bringing up her son's IEP. I feel like to Candace, this situation read borderline like that.
Yes, I think it did as well. I agree, Katherine. Thank you for that context of Candace taking these shrine allegations too seriously, which tracks because she's a very like Jesus forward Christian, you know, and everything she's been saying up to now is just like shrines. It's like, okay, we get it. You're not
Catholic. The devil. Not the devil.
So I agree. Like, I mean, I think that's useful context, and I agree that she does suspect that. But I want us to be clear. That's what Mia does, right? Because when we were talking about Mia and her invoking her son's IEP, she did that with her mom. What, my mama? You know that my mom is addicted to crack and like, no, I didn't. I had no idea about that. Like when I say yo mama, I didn't even know you had a mom. Like as far as I, like except for the fact that you were born, like it's an abstract yo mama. Like Mia does that. But I could grant that somebody would be suspicious of Wendy because Wendy's a 3. Like we know how she moves, right? Like Wendy might like it's like there's probably a little bit of suspicion with which Candace relates to Wendy because she can see like I don't think I can trust you 100%. A, I can't trust you have my back always 100%. B, sometimes it seems like you're doing the thing that's convenient. And Candace will have been burned by a similar 3 before who she accidentally got too close to, and that was Monique. Okay. That was Monique. But I didn't like that Candace. I think she wasn't giving her enough grace in that situation. Because what she didn't say is like, so actually it's like, she didn't say, she knew my mom was in the hospital and my mom is in the hospital. And she wants to talk about, she didn't say that, right? She said, so I'm feeling even more like aggrieved or almost like I'm even more defensive of my mom. My mom's not doing well.
Right.
Like, can you imagine your mom was rushed to the emergency room. You're on a trip. You stay on that trip. You don't tell nobody. Like, first of all, that's kind of crazy and, whatever. But like, I mean, maybe I would have stayed if everyone convincing.
And maybe that's why Candace is suspicious. Like, you didn't bring this up. You're saying it happened when you just landed 2 days ago,
Yeah. But we saw, right? Like, and it's, frankly, it is like a 3 to like continue to pursue the professional commitment to filming, right? Like, so it's kind of like, no, what I said was, imagine your mom is rushed to the emergency room and that emergency room trip then leads to a surgery. Like surgery is never 100% guarantee of a fucking bet, right? You could die under the knife at any time. So even if it's the safest procedure, that's someone's cutting you open, okay? Like, so if that's happening to her and then someone is talking shit about her mom, like it's a surprise. It's a wonder she didn't punch her in her face.
Yeah.
Because when you're feeling low and someone pokes that thing, it's even worse, obviously.
And Candace has intimate experience with that on this very show with people going to
Yes.
the mom. So like it's just like I want I'm always trying to find reasons to like redeem Candace's choices, but I'm just like, I wanted you could say that to me even like at the end of the episode, a little more gracefully, but it's like I don't know. Like I don't know. I can understand that like Wendy moves in a funny way, but it's like
it wasn't right.
Like Wendy has a lot of information other than just like her mom went to the hospital, she's on this trip, she's going under a procedure, she's asking questions, but she's having to show up to filming too. So it's like
because you have to keep in mind Candace said that after.
That's what I was gonna say.
Right? Exactly.
Yes. It'd be different if like at some point in the pool you're like, well, we gotta keep this separate. But it's like, no, okay, this is what you thought months later, you think this is an appropriate analysis.
Yep, that's the problem. That's the problem. You sat on it and you like maybe got an update on her mom's well-being and still did not grant her enough grace because she didn't say anything crazy.
No,
you might be confusing it with Mia, who says crazy, who makes a crazy connection. Because at first I was like, okay, maybe I get, but then I heard it back again. Wendy did not make a crazy connection. She just said, so that's why I'm in this place, especially. Like,
and remember,
what you're not gonna do.
And just yesterday, Mia came out of the nowhere and said, "That's your mama." Like, you know, that was not prompted. It wasn't in the context of an argument. Nobody was turning up. Nobody was fighting. It was like out of nowhere.
Oh my gosh, poor Wendy.
And then because it's also this whole like, oh, voodoo, magic, you know, and then it's like, now my mom is unwell. Like, if anything, you people and your fucking nasty energy, okay? Like, or like there's the chance next thing someone is gonna say, like, and your mother brought it on herself. Like, I would be literally, my shoulder would be up waiting for somebody to say it. Like, I dare you to say my mom deserved it. Like, you know?
Yeah.
She didn't say my mom was sent to the hospital by these claims. She didn't say that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
But Karen, I think, responded very compassionately and appropriately, even though Wendy cannot abide such an emotional display given her. Like, I was very happy to see Karen goes, I'ma hurt you.
I love it. I love Karen. The only three we acknowledge.
Literally.
Okay. So then let's skip ahead. All right. That's all the drama that happens at the pool, getting ready for the painting party. I'm just going to breeze through the painting party. They paint Karen. Okay. I also was scared. I was eating when I was watching this, and I was scared of NECA's painting of Karen. It looked so poopy. It was so bad.
It was a self-portrait.
Especially aggrieved, like, oh, you didn't like mine out of all the others. It looks the most fucking juvenile. Like, what are you, 3 years old? Did you make a triangle skirt body?
But also, why was it so like scruffy and rigid and gnarled looking? Like, what?
And then I'm like, wow, she really thought she was blending, I guess. I don't know what was happening there.
The same era she'd be making on her makeup.
Okay. Oh, she set us up. She set us up for it.
Girl, it's giving no blend. It's giving patch. Okay, it's giving.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, but hers was better than mine. It's like, Nigga, shut up. Like, you just got here. Be quiet. Like,
Yes.
it's Karen's birthday. If she didn't like your portrait, suffer it.
And then they wrap up painting, and Ashley informs us, you know.
Wait. Can I just say
Okay.
2 things? Karen saying, come on, Robin, let's see your raggedy ass shit. The best part to me. That was the best part.
I really enjoyed that moment. Karen is such a good sport.
Raggedy.
Yes,
she is raggedy.
She is such a good sport. She is such a good sport.
And the other part is this, I just want to note here, and I know our fashion awards are sometimes-y and not even about like professional looks, but I never saw a more beautiful, maybe not never, but Candace's confessional look was very beautiful.
The internet loves that one. I mean, it is the talk of the town. You know what someone said? I would have liked it better if that sleeve thing matched the dress. It's like,
That's the
Okay.
point, you
Oh,
fool.
now I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, it does match. Okay. Okay. It doesn't need to be the same exact lavender. It's
No,
like
it's a
giving
textural contrast.
iridescent jewel.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
She looks so cute. I said,
No, it's true. It's true. It's
the
true. It's
highlight
definitely
of
a
that
hottie
whack ass activity. So thank you, Candace.
There you go. And it's also important to note that Robin's portrait of Karen was the Twitter $11 a month blue check, you know. And Karen
This is the
bowed
most important
down.
thing to you.
Yeah. But Karen really was like a good sport about the whole thing. That was pleasant.
And as Queens of Bravo pointed out, thank you, Katherine, for sharing with us. Queens of Bravo was like, yes, Karen bowing down to the real queen.
No, they said the Grand Dame, or wait, yeah. The Grand Dame bows down to the Queen of Potomac. And it's just like,
Enough.
what?
Enough.
These people are not well. Whoever you are, Queens of, you're not well. Okay. And maybe it's Robin and you're not well. And the point
Yes.
is, I don't think it's Robin because Robin would realize this is effectively trolling. You are inviting a bunch of people to roast Robin. A white man top of the comments is like, Robin's not even the queen of her household. You better shut up.
Oh my gosh, what if it's like one of Robin's sons? You know?
The thing is, I can see it.
That's what they're doing in their room, you know?
Maybe that's how them and Juan are bonding.
Yeah.
Like, let's see how much now, because the comments are just people like, get the fuck out of here, shut it up, Robin, is that you? Like, it's not, you're not doing what you think you're doing. But I'm
No.
sure it's a producer. I feel confident that it is a producer behind that account.
That producer must be her primary advocate on this show because
Yeah.
it's her presence and its justification is dwindling.
Well, but
Yeah.
to Ellen's point, it's like no longer advocating. It's now becoming like you're trolling me. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm now questioning reality.
Yeah, like, are you trolling me or are you trolling Robin? Because you know the outcome. People are gonna roast her.
Yes.
Enough is enough.
Okay, so from there they go to dinner. This is the juiciest scene of the episode. It starts. First of all, I'm trying to go to that restaurant. Second of all, I don't know. The food came out and it looked good. A lot of the
It
times
did look
the
good.
food comes out.
Giselle's little red meat cuts.
Yes, exactly.
I just like the setting, like the outdoor lush greenery.
That's true.
They order pretty basic things, and then sometimes it comes out and it's like looks pretty dry. But this time I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So the food comes, and then of course that's Ashley's cue to confront Candace, who's sitting across from her. My thing is, she confronted her, I guess, on Robin's behalf. If
On the behalf of mess, it's not. She has no allegiances.
Because if she was doing this in earnest, she would have done what Karen did at the cabana, like day one with Giselle and Candace. Like, oh, you two have an issue. Like, what's the update with that? Do you want to resolve it here? Instead, Ashley talked like she was the person who was being attacked, like full force, like just attacking.
I know I'm not an insider, but who the fuck do you think you are to go? It's like,
yes.
She led with that energy. Meanwhile, the producers show us the tone she's taking in the drive home from whatever that was, chicken shit. It's like, she said, babes, but you're upset, but then why didn't you tell her? Babes. That's not the same energy she brought to the table. And here's my proposition. What Ashley is constantly doing at all times is calculating, okay? She found herself in that car on the drive back, which is not the people she had been allied with historically, right? So she said, let me see if I can get some information. Let me see if I could get something and run it back. So she's going to lend herself like a sympathetic ear. Candace, tell me more. And do you see what Wendy's doing in that flashback scene? I mean, it's not a flashback. They never showed us, right? I mean, it's a flashback of the events, apparently. But Wendy's just like, Candace, like, she's almost trying to tell her, do not engage Ashley. Do not fucking fall for this shit.
Yes.
Oh, a knowing moment from Wendy. We don't get those all the time.
And maybe it wasn't technically don't engage Ashley. Maybe it was just don't cry. But
no, because Wendy was also
different.
saying something to Ashley, like, we're not talking about that now. We're not talking like she really did want to stop that interaction between Ashley and Candace.
But I wonder if her key motivation, rather than a mistrust of Ashley, because what we've also been tracking this entire season is the lengths to which she will like let Ashley back into her life, even though Ashley shows her ass over and over again. I wonder if her like foundational motivation is like, if you cry, which I know to be like, I think this is my sister's position for Candace. If you cry, you're gonna look weak. Stop crying over these matters, you know, like.
Or I've had experience with threes like this, where it's like, if you cry, you are bringing down the group. Like, we are on an outing, we're doing a thing. Like, don't dwell, don't, just come on, this is not the time.
I kind of regard Wendy's response to their interaction after the fact a little bit like that. Like, I don't care what Robin does with her husband. I want some scallops as a like, all right, shifting gears from the intensity, which is I see it as a nice gesture, but I also see it as a too quick moving beyond like there's feeling afoot.
Yeah. I think with Wendy, if we're going to have, I don't think she's against the like confrontation period, but she's like, if it's going to happen, it better be a war of words where you're the clear victor. If you are going to cry and there's going to be real feelings involved, let's not go there. Let's not talk about it.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And she knew she could distract her by pointing out that she ate her food.
No, it's Wendy who ate Candace's scallops.
Yes, apparently. And she knew that Candace would then be like, wait, you ate my scallops?
Yeah, those were mine.
That would have really distracted me.
I wanted to see the scallops because I was wondering whether they were also delectable looking.
Yeah,
the way Wendy went so hard about how good they were, I said, let me see them.
Yeah. What they look like.
I'll be the judge of that. Can we just note too briefly before we get too deep into this, at the beginning of dinner, what we got was Ashley's stupid little gesture about, we got to support the drag queens. We'll come back to that. But we got Mia speaking about the sinister turn that Gordon took and why for her it's too much, which seems to corroborate Ellen's take earlier that like, I think the person who killed themselves was a family member, because she was like, Gordon was so sweet, but he's hardening and I can't just abide somebody getting hurt off of some money.
She said Gordon's a good guy, and something about the way she said that in the confessional, I really believed her that she was like speaking like,
from her No, and I think I could see why she would see that in Gordon and then also be like, whoa, you know what I mean? But I think, cause I agree. It's like because the focus of the, even when the producers do these runbacks, it's always like a family member over money, and it's like, wait, the lawyer is the one who died over money. What family member? You know what I mean? Like it's, but that for some reason they won't disclose at this stage that the lawyer was a family member. Let's wait on it. Maybe they'll tell us eventually.
Also, if we're rolling back, when the food first comes, to Ellen's previous point, Wendy prays before she eats. She says grace.
She does. I missed that.
Yes, and the producers make sure to show her doing her little grace. Okay.
I hate them.
I know, just enough. Like they just had to throw it in there. What she prayed to.
Yeah. And even if they're like, oh, like, no, she's a Christian. It's just like, you're the one continuing to bring mess to this situation, right? Like it has been laid to rest for a couple of episodes with the exception of NECA's like little fake ass bringing it up and Wendy contextualizing it in light of her mom being hospitalized. But y'all are the ones who are just like, pay attention. she's praying, monitor her. Like,
Yep.
no, we don't actually give a fuck.
Yep.
Stop.
Zoom in, zoom in. It was like NECA was behind the camera. Well.
I'm so sick of them. It's literally, I'm so sick of them.
Okay, wait, what else happened? Oh,
Okay.
okay. So then, yeah, go on.
Oh, I was just to go back to Ashley. Ashley bringing up the conflict, what she would call an inconsistency, but she's operating in bad faith, so it's not, between Candace's actions and her remorse in the car. The thing that really gets me that's frustrating, Wendy, of course, is just like, all right, enough of this, Ashley, the fucking bad faith mediator. Robin, do you want to speak to this directly in your own terms? Robin says no, but then she goes to address Candace, but directing her view and words to Ashley. That to me was so triggering, because it's just like, you childish, low down,
Very. That's exactly the
unaccountable.
thought I had.
You like, like, it's just
childish,
childish.
performative, and childish.
You can't own up to your own feelings enough to address the person that you were struggling with. You were broken down in tears, not being able to even fucking get your words out to the woman in the back of the car a day or two ago, depending on what the producers want us to believe. Then you're over here warring with yourself and your friend Giselle, talking about, no, I don't need to not be around her. But Robin, and then you're going to impose a rule. Let's just not talk about social media. Shut up, Robin.
Well, okay. That's what I hated, that she's like, when she finally does go to face Candace, she's like, I'm just going to make a blanket statement. We should not be weaponizing social media against each other. Or like, no one here, we're not doing that. And it's like, don't make a blanket statement. Speak about how you feel. Okay. But she's incapable.
Don't make a blanket statement. Why? Because the charge of hypocrisy is there looming in the fucking background. The woman has a podcast. And, as somebody on Twitter said, just because we're not listening to it doesn't mean we don't know that you're talking. Because some people are checking and reporting back to the rest of us. Like, we wouldn't have known this otherwise, because who the fuck is paying for Reasonably Shady, right? But they be on their podcast talking shit, including Robin talked shit about the whole Chris thing. Robin will have had, in the wake, Robin will have had multiple, somebody, I don't even remember it verbatim, but Robin will have had on multiple occasions, including and particularly on Reasonably Shady, been like, see, the thing is about Chris and Kiki with her homegirl Giselle. Because, okay, for me, the reason why she did that little performative childish shit is because if she's going to be triggered, or as Kristen had said, affected by anything anyone is saying, we've seen her be cold, stone cold in the face of friends, desperate with concern for her well-being, right? She's what we have seen in the course of this trip. That which moves her is whatever Candace is saying. Candace is not even, someone said Candace like lit her up, Candace roasted her. No, she didn't. Candace doesn't even have to go in on her. Candace just has to raise the fact of like, what about our friendship? And then what is Robin doing?
Getting up.
Guilty conscience speaking for her. She cannot face her. She cannot own her. She cannot sit at the table with her. And here's my thought. And I know this is like, we're not even necessarily getting into the granular parts of what Ashley said, which happens first, right? But while we're on this subject, here's my thought. Robin didn't start off this way, but what has happened in the course of the trip is the others have allowed her to displace her problem with Juan as a problem with Candace. She didn't even start there. The energy wasn't consistent because, as you pointed out last time, Kristen, when confront, I can be around her. I can, she wasn't ready to throw the thing away, but everybody kept selling her, particularly Giselle and Ashley, the ones with the most invested grudge against Candace. They kept selling her this. Candace seems to be the problem. And she's like, yeah, Candace is ruining my life.
Yeah.
So now, if she has to, now that she's displaced the actual problem of her marriage onto Candace, right? That's how she's so easily triggered. When Candace brings it forward, it's the weight of her marriage issue put onto Candace. And if she is to liberate herself from that, if she's to mend things with Candace, if she is to rebuild her friendship, then what will she do? She'll have to look at the problems with Juan.
Never.
That's why what Candace has done is unforgivable now.
Yeah.
Okay? Because she has no intention of seeking redress from Juan, of even addressing the circumstances with Juan, of holding him accountable. So what Candace now serves as is a useful and convenient place to put actually the problem of her marriage. She can never speak to Candace again unless she wants a divorce.
This
Because
happens a
she would
lot.
have to open it back up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so rich. It's so rich because I think what you're saying is corroborated by the events that ensue when she calls Juan. You know, like she calls Juan, and for the first time we see Robin affected or at least attuned to what feels like the possibility of infidelity. Why can't I see you? Why can't I see?
Exactly.
Because it's like, okay, I'm rebuffing Candace. Juan, you have to be the safe space. Where are you?
Exactly.
I can't see you. Is it, are you safe? Is it safe? Are you cheating? Is it true? Because I need to like overinvest over here. And then when she gets him, he says, talk to Candace. And she's like, I'm hanging up.
Exactly. Which is to say, I won't hear anything more you're going to say that's going to risk exposing how fucked up I think our relationship is. Not like exposing it to the public, but confronting me in my face with how nasty you are. Because in the other call, Juan has to hang up on her because she's still like, she's still in a place with Candace where repair could happen. Even when she was naming the thing to him, she said, you know, some of those women. She didn't name Candace as a direct, like she didn't implicate her directly as part of the problem. She said, those women who I'm not as cool with who are saying this and that, right? And she's just like, why is he? She's still in the space of trying to, but she has resolved in the course of this trip, no, go away from that. Take up what Giselle and Ashley are offering me. Make Candace the problem. So then, if she has to get too worked up by Juan, it would expose Candace can't actually hold the problems of my marriage. I can't even effectively displace them onto her by and I bet she's done that in the history of their relationship, and that's Juan's main issue with her, which is also partly why I think he said, just listen to her, just hear her out the way you refuse to hear me out. Because when she has to tune out Juan's problems, she goes, huh, bye. Huh? Didn't hear you. What one? La la la. She ignores it.
He said, be the biggest person for once.
Be the biggest.
For once. Oh my gosh.
And then
he hates her.
And then Ankles comes trotting along to seal the deal that Juan, you know, like inadequately. Juan says, talk to Candace. Robin says, shut up. I'm hanging up. I'm blocking you out like I do in our marriage every day. Here comes Ankles coming along in her heels saying, I'm here. Here's what you got to do. Never speak to Candace again because Candace don't have nothing to say. The issue is between you and Juan. But she doesn't even say that. Sorry, she doesn't say the issue is between you and Juan because that's what she said on the first episode. What she says is, don't even speak to Candace. Whatever it is, you know, like that's between you and Juan. Where she's somehow rehabilitated her earlier take, which is no, Juan is making you look stupid, girl. Be like, remember your earlier self and hold him accountable. Is now no, you're in a marriage with a man, and whatever goes on between y'all's doors is between y'all.
Which is probably none other than Giselle recycling her own strategies for her relationship with old boy.
Yes.
Who cheated on her multiple times, right? Embarrassed her
first episode, cheater, pumpkin eater, she introduces Jamal as,
She goes about Candace, you can't talk to her. You can't talk to her. And it's like such a moment for Giselle. Like finally, Robin is like coming around to hearing like Candace has to go.
My favorite is how she arrives when Robin walks away and then Giselle comes a few minutes later. I'm here. I gave you a few minutes, but I'm here. Like, I'm here to shore up the account. I'm here as your other half to let you know what it's going to be. Remember, we're ranked together, so we're closing up. I'm here. That's what I hear her announcing.
Yep, and Floppiana and her pet rock come trotting along shortly after to support it. Okay, but also like Ashley saying before, you know, I think we got to the meat of this, you know, the issue as it breaks. But just to clear the record, some people on the internet are like, idiots, really. Frankly, Queens of Bravo is the one who said it. Ashley cleared Candace by the differences. I say things to the group, you say them to the internet.
So
people are just drawing on, and then, you know, Candace had to directly confront someone in her mentions, like people, because first of all, what happens is then the producers produce a little bit of falsified evidence where it's like all the times that Candace was talking shit about Robin. You know what their headlines? By the way, do you ever find that they do that so fast you can't read the little social? And why do you think that is, everyone? Because they're not giving real evidence. You pause it, you see the first tweet they have Candace saying is, people should not cheat on their spouses.
Ah,
What?
She said that in November of 2022. People should not cheat on their spouses. Was it about Juan? Maybe, but it was a subtweet. It was not a dragging of Robin and her marriage publicly.
yeah.
Then, because they later tell us that Candace had had text Robin right after all of this broke and is like, "Are you mad at me?" Remember that text that went unanswered?
Yep.
That happened January 23rd. So then Robin ignores her. So then on January 31st, while the rest of us were finding out that Robin and Giselle put on Reasonably Shady all this background info about Juan's cheating, in other words, hid it behind a paywall when it should have gone on the show, that's when Candace does an extended tweet thread that's just like, some of us are hiding our true lives to leave the rest of us vulnerable out to dry. Okay. So basically, Robin had stopped talking to her. And Candace, as the rageful eight that she is, now she's raging, she's cooking, she's taking to the internet. She still didn't address Robin directly. The only thing she has said about Robin that the producers are milking dry. The shit is powder now. Okay. That's how dry they've milked it. Is first word, Robin Dixon, fraud. Okay. It's that they keep replaying. And then the other piece of evidence they put up was a headline from like reality TV or something like that said Candace Dillard upset about Robin Dixon, and that was a reference to the tweet thread from January 2023. So they're falsifying evidence to say like the effect of this little
the evidence is stacked.
Exactly. Evidence. It's like, you produced that. That's false. That's false. Right. And then people believe that because they're in Candace's comments like, you dragged Robin up and down the street. You people don't actually know that. You're just going off of Ashley saying it or Robin saying it and the producers fake corroborating it.
Which the producers need to be fucking held to the fucking fire about, because it's like, that's what you want people to do. You want people to not double check what the headlines say. You want people to go get in Candace's mentions and unseat her as the queen, as many people have elevated her. And it's like, no, because a lot of people peep what y'all are doing. A lot of people peep the lies on your timelines about what day it is on the show. A lot of people peep the timeline or peep the lies about, what's going on between Wendy. It's just like people see that y'all are overproducing the show to an end and to make an effect.
And someone is saying that like, oh, thank God, like multiple people are tweeting, oh, thank God that people, because, they probably are reflecting on the past 3 years of the show where the internet was arrayed against, and I would say the internet led specifically by racist white people, arrayed against Candace, right? Like that little spoiled brat needs to shut her mouth with her wise mouth. Like that, those are all the comments, right? Like,
That's definitely a white person.
Yes.
Your wise mouth.
Wise mouth. So that little petite frame and her round butt looking so cute, like
how does she know so many words that she can pronounce correctly?
Jealous. Like, anyway, like so a bunch of people are tweeting like, oh, thank God people now see what's going on. But then somebody, quite aptly comments, but if the producers are in on it, it's a wrap. They will they can effectively kick her off. They can fucking sign the end of her little contract. Like if the producers are in, because the person is saying like, thank God people see what Giselle, Ashley, whatever is cooking up. But if the producers are in on it, doesn't matter.
And that's, this is to be just today before we started filming, Carlos King has an account of this very phenomenon that I think, I haven't seen it, but he has a video posted to come called The Takedown of Candace Dillard Bassett, which I think is going to account for the producer's involvement in trying to bring her down and trying to sediment people's opinion against her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. Well, we need to watch that.
Robin, well, it's ultimately sad for her that she's like allowed to live in this unreality. But let me tell you, I noticed on the rewatch of the dinner scene that when she made that blanket statement, that rule about let's not talk on the internet, Mia and Giselle cheers to that. Did you see that? It didn't
I
even
didn't
show
know.
Giselle because it was
Yeah.
trying to be more legitimate. It just showed Mia. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my
No,
God.
they did show Giselle go, like that's right. Mm-hmm. No. And you know what, by the way? Giselle and Robin in particular have learned over the past, first of all, they were never like really Twitter personalities. Like you could see they're not like,
Quick.
you know, Twitter's for people who like discourse. And they're not right. They're not adept at that kind of thing. So they
They're
were never
not.
really
They were already
online like
behind their
that.
Gen X.
Exactly. But they learned over the past 4 or so seasons to stay off Twitter because they were being roasted. For 4 seasons, people have peeped game, right? GEBs. Okay. Like people have not had, that's why they're offline. Not because why would you then go make a podcast? That's very much online. Okay. And it's called Reasonably Shady, where you are talking shit about people, including your castmates.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
like the only thing you actually have to talk about, actually. Nobody cares.
Mhm.
You know, like the only reason you're famous is because you're on a show with cast that you're
With
probably
people who are more interesting than you. Yeah.
No, I care. I would care to hear what is going on in the Dixon household. I would
I
care.
wouldn't. You know, even if Reasonably Shady
not
was free
telling
on
us.
Spotify, I don't think I would devote 60
Even
minutes
if it
a
was
week.
free.
Well, they're not
Yeah.
actually telling. Whatever they're saying
Yeah.
is not,
Yeah.
but I would want to know.
I'm trying to hear it. You know, I think the other thing about the produce, I'm thinking now in light of what y'all were saying about like Mia and Giselle's face in reaction to what Robin said about we shouldn't talk. I'm also thinking about the whole gotcha moment, the like point of emphasis at the dinner for the the little clips was Ashley saying, no, I say it to the group and you say it on the internet. Look at, you remember that mic drop moment is what it's cast as, what it's like produced as, but you look at people's faces when Ashley says that and they're just like,
Yeah.
like I think
that
they're like,
reflect an experience.
yeah, it's like
we've
people are like,
had.
that's one take. Nobody's like, oh, you know, nobody's like, oh,
No.
okay. Everybody's just like, okay.
The comment
I don't
prompted
know if
them.
that's better.
It prompted them to think about her actual internet behavior, and then they were imagining the TikTok dances. That's you're like, oh, that's yeah. I guess she doesn't. Okay.
But like the point is, that's not the mic drop y'all produced it to be.
Yeah,
Nobody felt
yeah.
that like you thought it was gonna be felt.
Yeah.
Okay, like, does anything happen at the drag show that is really even, besides the fact of NECA's god awful? Okay, no, okay, let me say this. NECA's story is not, she can't keep her story straight because I don't have a problem with her, yet you're booing her, right? Like, if you did have a problem with her, that would explain why you're booing her. That would be perfectly reasonable, right? Like, you would be booing her because you have a problem with her. But for me, what's interesting about that particular segment is not the like, quality or compellingness of anybody's actual model walk, except for Karen's. Karen's was so cute. The thing that was actually interesting that someone pointed out on the internet, like I literally didn't realize this. Because that clip has been circulating for weeks now, right? Whoever was in Austin at the time at that particular drag show has released video, or maybe the producers, or friends of the producers early release video.
Over a month.
If over a month. When NECA boos Wendy, Mia goes, no. Yay, and puts her thumbs up. But the producers don't feature that on this episode.
We did not see that.
Yep.
No. And it took me a minute to get what the person was tweeting because they said that the show would not beat those colorism charges. And it's like, that's right. Because if they showed that, then it would look like, no, Mia's actually supporting, but they are trying to create these divisions, right? They are constantly, with every edit, with every like sound effect, with every focus of the camera, working to undermine Wendy. Candace, a little bit less so. Wendy first is their main fucking target. Candace is second. And then to shore up some little camaraderie, solidarity, meaningful friendship among the light skins.
Right.
We don't buy
Can't
it.
convince me. Can't convince me. Mm-mm.
No, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. Ashley literally didn't know that. I mean, Giselle literally didn't know that Ashley, like, hadn't been to her mother's house in 2 years. Like, you know, they're not friends. They don't talk to each other.
No.
Right. And you cannot, we've said this before, you cannot get a 7 to stay on side. Like they are notoriously hard to click up because it's in a club scene. Mia will always do the thing that's going to be fun in a club
Popular,
scene. She's
yeah.
sitting there booing people. She's like, "Oh my
Exactly.
gosh, we're on stage!" You know?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, Katherine, you were saying something about that before, where it's like Mia was so odious and contemptible when she was introduced. And I think it maybe had something to do with like the naked opportunism that she was displaying. And it's not like that has lessened really, but maybe like the dynamics of everyone like hating each other has made her like attempts for opportunities so much more equal opportunity or something. Like it doesn't feel, I don't know if it feels less bad or something, or it's like it's like a wrong clock is right twice a day or something. Like
Yes.
it's like her
Yes.
she hits sometimes because it doesn't feel like she's particularly sided with anyone, so
Yeah.
her opportunism can function to make a good time in different moments, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because she and Karen are like the only ones that are actually talking to the whole cast.
Exactly. Okay, that's
Yeah. And not to mention this little storyline about Gordon's increasing callousness. The redemption of Mia, we're seeing it, people, live before our very eyes.
Who could imagine?
I know.
Who could have guessed?
I would have never guessed. I would have said you were so crazy if you told this to me 2 years ago. I'd have said go to hell.
This is why you gotta remain curious about people. This is why you gotta remain curious. They go surprise you.
I got to keep that in mind, you know. Wait, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, okay. This came to my mind when Ellen was talking about NECA not getting her story straight. That is particularly annoying because her storyline is so small. You had one job, okay?
You had one job provoked by the producers, Ashley, Giselle, and Robin. Okay.
It's like the smallest little like part you play, and you're still just getting it so wrong, you know?
Y'all saw how bad she moved? Like, it's like I couldn't imagine that there would be a person who moved more bad than Ashley.
Yeah. Surprise. Surprise. Yeah, get her out of here. Anyway, I don't think they'll bring her back. She was an instrument anyway. Nobody wants her.
Oh, really? That'd be good.
A talking implement, you might say.
Yeah,
wow.
a talking implement.
1 year, you think?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. She was a Shamari, but less compelling.
Because Shamari started some shit.
Yeah, Shamari was fun.
And then Shamari's husband, oh my God, what's his name of Belle Biv DeVoe? Ronnie. Is he Ronnie?
Ronald, yeah.
Yeah, he's Ronnie. All right.
Well,
yeah, girl, sunlight is fading. You know what that means?
You know what that means is that we are officially out of Austin.
We back in Potomac, baby. We getting back to the get back. We getting back to the get back.
Yes.
Yes, people, tell us what you thought about this episode, specifically the disrespect dealt to Karen and her triple 20s, which we are all now going to call our 60th, well into the future.
Henceforth.
I'm a convert. I'm gonna call my 40th double 20. You know I will.
The falsified records by producers. I want to know if people are peeping game. And what else? I love to hear about Juan. You know, I love a Juan sighting.
I think Ellen is wandering. What y'all think?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, Ooh, guesses on what Juan was actually doing. That's
That's what I want. Yes. Okay, because we didn't even mention this. He said he was doing laundry. Okay.
No, we did. We talked about it.
Okay.
And I offered that he maybe was getting his dick sucked.
Yes.
In
Because he was
keeping with
busted
his
at the
subconscious.
laundromat with Karen's lookalike.
That's right.
Oh, that's the part we didn't bring up, right? That he was already once indicted for laundry charges.
That's right. Yeah, he got caught on laundry charges before.
He's back at it again.
Yes. And then
always returning to the scene of the crime.
they literally do. Okay, also like, comment, as she said, and subscribe.
All right,
Yes,
we'll see y'all next
please.
time.
Bye.
Bye.